Howdy, and welcome back to the Dias Cast. We've got a very exciting matchup for me personally tonight because it is Brendan, the Lord of Death, Melnick's 5th or 6th appearance on the channel.
Yeah.
But the first time he's actually playing a Death Army, so it's the first time it really feels right.
Yeah, people have been stopping me on the street asking me, why aren't you playing Death on the channel? What are you doing?
And I ask them, you at the Piggly Wiggly.
Yeah, I go, how do you know me? Please stop talking to me.
Well, the reason they know you is because of your exposure on the Dias Cast, of course.
Of course.
So tonight we've got a very melee-oriented matchup. I've got a little bit of shooting to throw things off, but at their heart, both of these armies are going to get in, lock in, do a lot of fighting. One of them is very fast.
One of them is very durable.
Very durable. And certainly the same thing can't be said of the other army.
True.
One of them is very slow, and one of them is very squishy. Let's get into this.
Alright, so I'm playing Ossiarch Bonereapers. This is my favorite Death Army. I think they're the coolest. The army we've got tonight is we are going to be playing Mortis Praetorians. Obviously taking Katakros. If you're taking Praetorians, you need to have Katakros. I mean, you don't, but and you do. The grand strategy, Unrelenting Efficiency. I have to have one of my Mortec Guard or Cavalos units alive at the end of the game at full health. So, I mean, that's what we want to do anyways. Trying to pick up Bloodthirsty, was hoping to land a very sneaky free reroll charge. Playing Bonereapers, you don't get to use the base command abilities. But in terms of the army, we've got Katakros. We have a Bone Shaper who's our general, whose Katakros is chosen, with the Artificer Blade to be a Rend 3 Bone Shaper. I know, devastating. Taking Netherite weapons to power up the Mortex or the Cavalos, with a Mortis and Soul Mason who's taking the Gothazar Cartouche to add +1 to wound for my units while they're holy within 9 of them. Drain Vitality to make the prospect of, well, in Nick's case, rerolling save rolls of 6s isn't maybe that important, but rerolling the hit rolls of 6s definitely is going to be. 2 units of 20 Mortec Guard in Expert Conquerors, a unit of Death Riders, a doubled up unit of Necropolis Stalkers, both in Bounty Hunters. We're going to play the game. Will it blend? And the answer is going to absolutely be yes. And then rounding it out with a Gothazar Harvester. I've got a Command Entourage to give me that second artifact, and coming in at 1995. The goal is to get on the points and then never move.
My army tonight is one that I've come back to a number of times. I really love Slaanesh, but it's been difficult to really make them viable. I think they're starting to come around. They've gotten enough incremental improvements with point reductions and their White Dwarf improvements to really make them a viable force on the table. And I'm running a mixed forces list tonight. So I'm in Godseeker's Host, and that's going to give me +1 to charge army-wide, really help me get into what I want to get into, although there's not a lot of optimal choices against this Ossiarch Bonereapers army. I've got 2 units of 11 Blissbarb Archers and a unit of Hellstriders as my battle line units. And then I've got an Exalted Chariot and a unit of Slickblade Seekers as bounty hunters along with those Hellstriders. They're really going to be efficient against the Mortec Guard, at least as efficient as anything can be against them. The problem is that I don't have a lot of Rend to punch through their terrific saves and their rerolling saves. And then I've got, for my heroes, a pretty big package. I've got Keeper of Secrets and Sigvald. Keeper of Secrets is my general, with Slothful Stupor, the Girdle of the Realm Racer, which is going to let him fly. And then he's got the command trait to let him get reroll 1s to hit and reroll 1s to wound when he charges. So my goal with him is going to be charge in, fight, let something else, double fight, generate extra depravity that way. For my other heroes, I've got a Contorted Epitome and Celeste, who I think is a really great pick right now. A strong combat hero who can ride around on Lao Shan, which is one of my endless spells. I've also got Ravenax Gnashing Jaws and the Burning Head to help me generate depravity and punch some mortal wounds through these things that I otherwise can't hurt very well. So we'll see how it goes tonight. So tonight we're playing In the Presence of Idols, which is a 3-objective battle plan. Relatively standard scoring on this one. Hold 1, hold 2, hold more, and then your battle tactics. But the wrinkle on this one is that we each are going to pick 3 idle units, and those idle units are going to reduce our casualties to battle shock. Obviously, Brendan doesn't worry about battle shock here with his Bonereapers.
Half divided by 0.
Yeah, pretty significant reduction, though, potentially on my side for the idle units. And then also, if an idle unit kills another idle unit, we get an extra victory point for that.
Deployment here is relatively simple. We're going to have some idols that we have to pick out, but at the end of the day, it's going to be pretty straightforward. My goal with my Expert Conquerors is to go stand on some objectives, have enough fast stuff on one side to hopefully swing around and close the door on a hammer and anvil, and I've got quite the anvil, so hopefully the hammer can do the trick.
So in my deployment here, I really set up some screens on either wing, and then the big screen of Hellstriders up the middle. Worried about the fast units of Brendan being able to come in and get into my soft underbelly, but ultimately Slaanesh does not have anything except a soft underbelly. So the reality
100% underbelly.
Right. The reality is that I'm definitely going to be vulnerable on some sides, and that's just something I'm going to have to accept here. My big fear with Brendan's movement is that he's just going to be able to put his Mortek Guard onto 2 objectives, and because they're Expert Conquerors, I really have no way to hold those objectives until I clear those blocks, and that's just not going to be happening anytime soon. So it's going to be a uphill sledding here, I would say, to try to get through his very, very durable units, and it poses me some very difficult questions here in deployment.
So after deployment, but before determining who goes first, we have to pick our 3 idols units, starting with the attacker.
Alright, so my idle units here are going to be Sigvald, my Exalted Chariot, and my Keeper of Secrets.
Super easy for me as well. Mortek Guard, Blendermen.
Yeah, sure, the Stalkers. Makes sense. I think I'm really in a difficult place here, either trying to scrape some extra points in the top of this round and pushing things out, or letting Brendan get on the objectives and me being unable to move him and unable to really score effectively. So it's a very difficult choice about who's going to go first here, but I think ultimately I am going to take the top of the turn and try to push things back and maybe get some extra points in this first turn.
Cool.
Good luck.
Good luck to you. I am going to pick the middle objective here to be the Proving Ground.
Makes sense.
So I have to generate my my Relentless Discipline points. So I get 5 for Katakros being on the table, another 1 for each of my heroes. That puts me at 7. I'm going second, so that gives me 9. And then here at the start, I roll a dice for each unit I have on the table. I have 8. And for every 6, I get another discipline point. Yep. I got 3 more, so whew. I got a few.
What's your total?
12. So Katakros has a ability on his War Scroll based on how healthy he is, and he is fully healthy, where he is going to try and steal the 1 command point you get for your general being on the table. So here we go. A 1 will not do it.
Okay.
I need a 4 out.
For my battle tactic here, I'm going to take Against the Odds and select this unit of Blissbarb Archers right here.
Mm-hmm.
For my heroic action, I'm going to try to get an extra command point with my general, the Keeper of Secrets. And I do on a 4. Also, in the start of the hero phase, Slaanesh is going to prick himself on the Fane of Slaanesh. He'll take a mortal wound, and then on a 2-up, he will get +1 to hit until my next hero phase. And that's my start of hero phase done. You've got some start of hero phase stuff as well, right?
For you, all it is picking my heroic action, and I'm going to turn Katakros into a wizard.
Okay, for Unbind?
Yep.
Makes sense. Into the hero phase proper then, I'm going to get into some spellcasting. First up, the Contorted Epitome is going to attempt to cast the Mystic Shield spell. And fails that on a 4, but has native reroll casting on the War Scroll. I'm going to get that on a 6. And Mystic Shield is going to go on Sigvald. Next up, the Contorted Epitome is going to attempt to cast Laoshan the Soul Seeker. And going to get that on a 6.
Katakros will use his Unbind attempt here. Gets that with a 9.
Okay, so no Laoshan. We've then got a couple other spells. Slaanesh is going to attempt to cast the Ravenak's Gnashing Jaws. And going to get that on a 9.
How many more casts do you have left?
2 from the Keeper.
I'll take a crack at one of the Soul Mason's Unbinds here at the Jaws. 8, so you get it.
Okay. The Keeper of Secrets then is going to attempt to cast the Burning Head. And going to get that on a 7.
Yeah, I'll use the Soul Mason's last Unbind here. 9.
Okay. Last spellcast here is then going to be the Keeper attempting an Arcane Bolt. And fails that with a 4. At the end of the hero phase then, the Ravenak's Gnashing Jaws is going to move, and how this works is I roll 3 dice, and since I set it up this turn, I can re-roll this if I'd like, and it's going to move that many inches. And so that is a total of 12 inches. And we'll see if that gets into anything. May still re-roll that. And 12 is a pretty good roll, but I am going to re-roll that. It doesn't quite reach anything. And so we'll improve that to a 16. That should make it. Ravenax is going to apply its damage to the Stalkers there. I got a 16, and you subtract their movement from that. So that is going to be 10 mortal wounds for the Necropolis Stalkers.
Alright, ward save time. Make 2. So that is 8. So 2 Stalkers go.
I'll take it. There we go. I need some things like that to go right with the mortal wound output this game. And then we can get into movement. It is a terrifying risk to go first in a game of Age of Sigmar. When you're a melee army versus a melee army and you just don't have the output to really do it from range. I do have the speed to throw some things into Brendan's forces, but I don't really want to be there. So I took what I considered to maybe be the second best approach. I pushed forward. I'm going to kind of score maximum points here easily when I still can, because I can't necessarily do that later in the game as he establishes himself on the objectives. Ravenax really hurting the Necropolis Stalkers is going to help me a lot here. Also gets me some extra gravity, which is always nice, so I feel pretty good about that. I pushed up on all flanks, but I'm fast enough that I can really reposition as necessary with whatever is left after the faster units come into me. So we'll get into the shooting phase. So I've got one unit of my Bliss Barbs that are in range here to do some shooting. I am going to all-out attack with them. So normally I'd like to really split my shots, spread them out, but I know that Brendan's got a lot of ability to heal through a lot of my damage. So with my Bliss Barbs, I'm going to take my opportunity before Katakros' buffs are up and throw all of these shots into the Mortison Soul Mason to try to pick it off. It's a very key piece, especially with the Golden Cartouche. So I'm going to Hail Mary here a little bit. I'm going to be able to get 21 shots into it. I'm going to all-out attack, but because of Lookout Sir, that's going to be canceled out. So really these are going to be on 4s and 3s.
It's going to be tough.
Yes. So 21 4s and 3s.
stealth.
So that is going to be a total of 7 at -1. So unlikely I get it done here, but hopefully.
6s by 6s. I gotta make 2 on any of these rolls. So 1, I gotta see 1 6 here, otherwise he's dead.
Oh.
Okay, so I take 2.
All right, well that's going to get me a depravity at least. I don't have any charges to make here, and so at the end of the turn, I am going to rack up 3 depravity. We don't have to worry about any battle shock or anything like that. And I am going to score max here. I hold 1, hold 2, hold more. Got my battle tactic, total of 5 victory points. And I will attempt to gain a command point at the start of the bottom of 1.
Yeah, and I'll try and steal it. I roll 4, so no you don't.
Okay, so I just have 1 command point still.
Okay. I have a number of start of the hero phase things that have to happen. First things first, we got to pick out our battle tactic and then take our heroic actions here. I'm going to go big and or go home early. I'm going to take gaining momentum. I'm going to pick 1 enemy unit. I'm going to pick the Hellstriders.
Sure.
And then for my heroic action, I'm going to turn Katakros into a wizard. So we're going to, Katakros gets to pick 3 units to heal 3 wounds worth. I can't bring any of these guys back, which is a bummer, but we're going to heal 3 wounds on my Soul Mason.
Sure, like it never even happened.
Negating all of the work that we just saw there. Bone Shaper would heal. Bone Shaper doesn't have anything to heal. Then I have to use my lovely, lovely bone abilities. It's Holy Within the team. That's useful to me. So we will pick our Holy Within 36-inch ability to reduce the casting, unbinding, and dispelling rolls of one of your wizards on a 2-up.
Sure.
I am going to pick the Epitome. So they are
Okay.
-1 to do all of that.
Sounds good.
Oh, also I have to generate more Relentless Discipline points. Because it's the start of a turn. So 12 plus another 2.
Up to 14.
Yep. So start, I'm going to spend 1 to give my Necropolis Stalker, that is reroll runs and charges, and when I do that I can pass across terrain features as if I can fly,
Okay.
which is pretty nice. Brings me down to 13. So the Scroll Bearer, because I'm at full health, I'm going to pick 1 thing to be -1 to hit. I'm going to pick Sigvald to be -1 to hit.
Sure.
Now I unbind, or I attempt to make an unbind roll against the jaws.
Okay,
So
using Katakros's
Yep.
extra.
Casting value of a 6, so gotta see something here. And an 11. So
Okay, round
goodbye.
on.
You've done enough damage. Please leave me alone. Haven't you hurt me enough?
For my heroic action here, I am going to attempt to get an extra command point with my general on a 4. And I got it. Cool.
Okay, so flipping over to the regular bit of the hero phase, we're going to spend a point bringing us down to 12 on Katakros to get his +1 save, +1 to hit aura going. I know that's not something that Nick was really looking forward to, so here we are. As far as casting goes, we have our Soul Mason, who is going to take their first spell and do Soul Guide, casting value of a 6. Get that with the 6.
I'll attempt to unbind that with my Keeper of Secrets. And block it with a 9.
Cool. The Bone Shaper is going to cast Empower Weapons. Not with double 1s.
Miscast.
For 1, I'm good.
Okay.
Then the Soul Mason with his second spell is going to cast Mystic Shield with a 7.
Gonna attempt to unbind that then with Celeste. And block it with a 10. Hot on the unbind so far.
Okay. Alright, so that brings me to the end of my hero phase. So what I gotta do here is on a 2-up, I get to do some more casting. On a 6, I get to do D3 more castings for Soul Guide. So that's a 6. So that's 1 more attempt. So I will attempt to cast Soul Guide. I fail.
Okay.
Boy, that was...
A lot of dice rolls for nothing.
Yep. Okay. So over to movement. I have 12 relentless discipline points, so I've got some money to burn.
Alright, with that movement, I'm going to redeploy my Hellstriders here for 2 inches.
Pretty straightforward here. We're gonna go stand on some objectives. We're gonna put ourselves in unenviable positions for my opponents here, and we're just gonna try and do a metric bejesus ton of damage.
Should be effective.
All right, so I do have one whole shooting attack in the army. I have my lovely Gothazar Harvester, who is going to take all 4 shots at your Hellstriders that are sitting up there.
Sure.
All right. So Katakros is going to spend 1 discipline point to add 1 attack to the Harvester. So that's going to put me up to 5 whole shooting attacks. These are going to be 2s and 3s, +1 to hit from Katakros, but he does not get the +1 to wound from the cartouche. That is melee weapons only. Oof. 2 at rend 1, please.
Okay, these are going to be 6 ups. 5 ups. Made 1.
1 damage.
Okay. That, in theory, would be a depravity, but I don't think we're going to quite make it that far.
So we're going to come over to the charge phase. We'll start with the Bone Boys that are standing right there, ready to give the fight to those Hellstriders.
They need a 3.
They need a 3. They get +1 because they have a banner, so they can't miss. Would you look at that? It's a 4. We're going to make a charge here with the Necropolis Stalkers. They get a 9.
That'll get them where they want to go.
Yeah, just about. The question is, where do they want to go? We'll make a roll with the Cavalos Death Riders. 7.
That'll get them. Now, on both of those last charges, I would have had an option to Unleash Hell, but I'm saving that command point. The Bliss Barbs are fairly poor at Unleash Hell because they hit up 4s natively.
Alright, so that brings me to the end of the charge phase. I don't have any abilities to use. So we are going to move over here to the start of the combat phase. The first thing I have to do is pick a stance for my blenders. So they're going to be 2s and 3s on their profile with 5 attacks. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to improve the rend and damage by 1, bringing me up to rend 2, damage 2.
Okay, makes sense.
I will spend a point to shield wall my Mortec Guard, because I am expecting to go second with them, and they are bounty hunters, so I will take potentially some damage, but I just want to mitigate as much of it as possible.
Makes sense. Also, at the start of the combat phase, the Chariot on a 2-up will do some mortal wounds to that unit. And it fails.
We are going to start with our Necropolis Stalkers. So I have 20 attacks to allocate here. I'm going to get greedy. I'm going to throw 15 attacks at the chariot. I'm going to throw 5 attacks at the Blissbarb archers.
Sounds good. I'm going to spend a command point for all-out defense here on the chariot.
Okay, so we will start against the Blissbarb archers. This is going to be 5 attacks at 2s and 3s because of Katakros' holier than 36-inch bubble of awesome. So that's 5 hits. That is 4 at rend 2.
Straight through.
That is going to be damage 3 because I am bounty hunters.
Okay, that is so a total of 12 damage. That's going to clean the unit.
Okay, so then the 15 attacks that are going to swing over here at the chariot, also 2s and 3s, but I am losing my extra damage because you are not a Galatian veteran. I know, you're devastated. Okay, that's not my best roll here. That is going to be 5 at rend 2, please.
5 at rend 2 with the all-out defense. That is going to push the chariot to a 5-up. So down to 3, back up to 5. And I needed one of those. I get none of them.
10 damage. That was an idol, correct?
That was. I needed one save there. It was also a bounty hunter that could have swung back pretty good.
Yeah, that would have really hurt.
My activation then is going to be the Hellstriders. I'm going to pile them in and put all the attacks here into the Mortek Guard. This unit is a bounty hunter's unit. I don't have any command abilities to spend on them. So I've got a total of 11 attacks with the Hell Scourges. These are going to be 3s and 4s. And 6s here will explode. A few 6s there, going to get 3 hits back. And 4s to wound. Just going to wound with 2 of those, no red.
Okay, so that's going to be a 3-up, re-rolling.
Seems good. Good. Fine. And then the Poison Tongues, 10 attacks. Also 3s and 4s. That is 4 also at no red.
3s re-rolling. Re-rolling. 6s, 2 damage, right?
2 damage because of bounty hunters.
2 go through.
Okay.
So you are going to get 1 depravity.
I'll take that at least.
So I'm going to pile in and fight with my my Mortek Guard. I got to shift over just a little bit so that everybody can get their bonds of friendship. Okay, so that's 18 of them that are alive. So that is going to be 36 attacks. I am outside of my cartouche, and there's no way I could have piled in to go get that. So this is going to be 37 attacks at 2s and 4s. I'll do 18 twice. So 2s and 4s, I have Nadirite weapons. They are not empowered because I miscast on that one. So 6s to hit are 2 hits instead of 1. Man, how I missed playing this army. These rules are bonkers! My 4s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 so far.
Okay.
Okay, and then the second round of attacks, which will be 19. Same thing. Ooh, see, there you go. They're the ones. So you get for getting rid of my soul guide. 1, 2, 3, 4 extras. So that's pretty good. 5 4s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So a total of 19 at rend 1, please.
And these are base 4-ups. They're 5-ups with the rend. And I'm just going to make a few of those. That's going to kill the unit.
Your activation, you have some Blissbarbs against my murder ponies.
Sure. So I slid the Blissbarbs down a little bit. 3 of them are going to be in range for their melee attacks then. They do get the Galatian veteran reach rules.
The power of friendship.
And truly devastating melee profiles. Obviously here we've got 3 attacks at 4s and 4s. 6s will explode. That's 1 6 and 1 miss. 4's a 1. 1 at no rent.
3 up. Good.
Okay.
I'm going to have 3 of my murder ponies, one of which is my unit champion. Murder ponies are murder ponies because they're good at murdering. So we have our Netherite Blades, which is going to be 10 attacks because the champion is involved. They're 3 each. This is 2s and 4s because Katakros' command ability cannot be stopped. It is beyond reproach. 1 6, 1 1, so cool. So 10 hits. 4s. So that is going to be 6 at rend 1.
Straight through.
Straight through. I am bounty hunter, so this is 12 damage.
Okay, they are dead.
Well, end of the combat phase. Good job, Bonereapers. Battle Shock, I ignore. I don't have to do any of that. So you collect your...
I got 1 depravity here just for killing the Bonereapers.
Mhm.
I was hoping to do some mortal wounds and swing back into the stalkers with the chariot and get some depravity that way. At least the mortal wounds at the start of the combat phase on the 2-up would have been nice. Didn't get any there, and then didn't manage to do any damage to the Death Riders, and even the miscast ended up being negated on a 6, so no depravity from any of those. Total of 4.
Yep, so it comes over to scoring. I hold 1, I hold 2, I hold more. I got my battle tactic, and I killed an idol with an idol, bringing me to 6 points.
Sounds good.
Yeah, so pretty strong turn 1. I have board position. He doesn't have a ton of depravity points, and in reality, I'm down 4 models, so I'm feeling pretty good. If he commits one way hard, then I feel good about my ability to score. If he tries to distribute his attacks evenly across the board, I feel good about my ability to try and weather the storm and grind out that fight. With my Expert Conquerors on 2 of the objectives, you basically have to kill every single model in my army at this point.
I was really hoping that that Brendan would have to fully commit to the chariot to take it off. So
I almost did.
Right. If I would have gotten 1-5 there, it's fighting back, and it feels pretty good fighting into those stalkers because it is a bounty hunter into the Galatian veterans. So I really would have liked that to go through. Otherwise, the turn kind of went how I expected. My screens got wiped out across the board. That was kind of the one thing that didn't go the way I was hoping for.
Okay. So let's roll for priority.
Yeah, big priority roll here.
You win ties.
And I have a 5-tier 2. I will take it.
That's
if I don't
what you
take
need.
it, the game is just done. So I will definitely take it. But it's going to be some big uphill sledding. You've got a proving ground to choose. And I have no more Galatian veterans.
Yeah, so we'll pick, this is the proving ground over here. So that basically means that no matter what, that one's mine. And
Sure. I do have the ability to summon some, but on the field right now, I've got none. All right.
I'm going to try and steal your command point
Sounds good.
from your general. I do. Enjoy your 1 command point.
All right, so we'll have top of 2. Slaanesh is just going to have 1, and you need to roll for all yours.
I do. So I start again with a base of 7 for my heroes, 5 for Katakros, 1 for each of the heroes. I'm going second, so that's 2, so that brings me to 9. I still have 8 units. So that is 1 6. So that puts me at 10.
All right, for my battle tactic here, I'm going to take eye for an eye, which is not as easy as it might look here, but I need to kill at least 1 unit. If I don't manage that, we're in worse shape than it seems like we already are. So eye for an eye. For my heroic action here, I'm going to find a Star Celeste, and I'm also going to, at the start of the hero phase, take 1 mortal wound on the Keeper of Secrets, and on a 2-up, I'm going to get the +1 to hit for the round. So yes, from the Fane of Slaanesh, you'll take 1 mortal wound and get +1 to hit. Your start of hero phase?
I'm going to take my heroic action to turn Katakros into a wizard to try and match all of your unbinds across the table.
Sounds good.
I'm going to come up 1 short, but, it's better than nothing.
All right, we can get into casting then. The contorted epitome is going to start with overwhelming acquiescence. -1 to cast here, so that 5 becomes a 4. Gonna re-roll that. And so that 7 is going to become a 6. And it's got a casting value of 7, so that's gonna fail.
Paying off! Bone Tide Nexus.
The epitome is then going to attempt to cast Ravenax. And going to get that on a 7.
Okay. My Bone Shaper will take a crack at that, being the furthest one away from the rest of your wizards. I'll get that with the 10.
Okay, no Ravenax here. The Keeper is then going to attempt to cast the Burning Head.
Oh, what's it going to be?
And gonna get that on a 6.
Okay, the Soul Mason's first Unbind will take a crack at that. I get it with a 9.
Okay. Keeper is then going to attempt to cast Mystic Shield. And gets that on a 7.
One more cast, right, from Celeste?
Yep.
Okay, the Soul Mason's second go will go here. You get it.
Okay. That's going to go on Sigvald. And Celeste is going to attempt to cast Lao Shan. And going to fail that with a 5. Yeah, need a 6 on that one. So we will then get into movement. Movement phase here, very simple. I just have a handful of models left. I've become suddenly a very elite army. But I did line up against what I feel is maybe the most vulnerable target on the field, which is the Stalkers. And I'm going to have to go in a couple other places with some other heroes to try to get some things done. And so we'll see what I can accomplish here. No shooting, so we can get straight into charges. First, going to charge with
Real business.
Yes. First, going to charge with the with Sigvald. He gets +4 in Godseekers, so he got a 10 base. That's going to be 10 attacks when it comes time to fight. But he's also going up to 14 inches on the charge.
Gross.
Then you're going to charge with my Blissbarb Seekers. Excuse me, my Slickblade Seekers. They get +1, and they're going up to 12 inches.
Woo! Spicy.
The Keeper of Secrets then is going to attempt to charge. Needs a 3, got a 7, +1 for Godseekers, so 8 inches. Going to go into the Stalkers here. And then the Contorted Epitome is going to attempt to charge as well. Or roll it at least. Got a 7, +1 for an 8-inch charge. Celeste, one more charge to make. Going into the Death Riders, and got it on a 7, 8 inches. When my general makes a charge, I will get D3 Depravity +1 because at least one other unit made a charge. And so going to get 2 Depravity there. Puts me up to 6. And I'm going to attempt to stop the Necropolis, stomp the Stalkers. There's no reason to try to roar them here, so I'm a 2 up. Nope.
End of the charge phase, I'm going to spend a Relentless Discipline points to bring me down to 9. You completed a charge move within range of my Stalkers over there, so we're gonna do that. We're gonna re-roll hit rolls for attacks made by that unit, the target enemy unit that made a charge move. We're not gonna do that with my Death Riders.
All right, at the start of the combat phase, then I've got a few rules to go off. Celeste is going to attempt to locust the Death Riders so that they can't pile in. Needs a 4, got it on a 4.
Okay.
The Keeper, likewise, is going to try to locust the Stalkers. Needs a 3 because it's Greater Demon, got it. So they can't pile in, not that it really matters for them. And the Epitome is going to try to use its rules so it can't be attacked until it has fought. And failed that on a 3.
Okay. So over to me. I'm going to spend a discipline point to shield wall my Mortec Guard. And then I am going to pick my reroll save stance with my Stalkers.
Okay, makes sense. I'm going to fight first then with the Slickblade Seekers. They're going to put all their attacks into that unit of Mortek Guard. Alright, I've got 16 attacks with the Slickblade Glaives. These are going to be 3s and 3s. And 6s here will explode. Just 1 6. And then 3s to wound, but 6s here will do a mortal wound in addition. So that is going to be 2 mortal wounds and a total of 6 saves to make at only -1.
So those 6 saves are going to put me at 4s and 4s. Okay. So 1 gets through, damage 2 because bounty
Damage 2
hunters.
because of bounty hunters, yeah. So a total of 4 damage all is all.
I'm safe 2,
Okay.
so I take 2.
Alright, and then their mounts. 15 attacks here, also 3s and 3s. And likewise, 6s explode here. Got 2 of those.
Nice.
3s to wound. No mortal wounds on these. So that is going to be a total of 7 at no range.
3s are rolling. 2 damage.
2 damage through because of bounty hunters.
Alright, take 2 more.
Okay, so a total of 4 dead there.
Yep.
Not exactly the kind of output I want from my big killy bounty hunters unit, but certainly the sort of output I should expect.
Yeah. Okay, so over to me. I've got my Necropolis Stalkers. I've got what is going to be a total of 20 attacks. Through the power of friendship, I can either direct all of them at Sigvald or the Keeper. Alright, we're going to take a crack at seeing if we can get rid of the Keeper here.
Makes sense. And here the pile-in really doesn't matter because of the Galatian Veterans rule.
Yep. So this is going to be 20 attacks, 2s and 3s, re-rolling, hit rolls, not re-rolling wound rolls, rend 1, damage 1 against the Keeper.
Sounds good.
4 misses so far. No misses. Oh.
What are you wounded on?
Huh?
What are you wounded on?
3s. Okay, so that is going to be 15. Rend 1, please.
Okay, 15 5-ups. And I need to make some of these for the Keeper to live.
If I kill the Keeper.
And I have made 4 of them. So it's going to take 11 damage. So it is going to be alive with 1 remaining.
Ugh. If I'd gotten that Keeper, you don't get your next pile in here.
Yep. And everything else goes bad too at that point. So next up, it's my turn to fight again. I'm going to use the Keeper's command ability issued to the Slickblade Seekers, and they are going to fight once more.
I'm going to pile your guy in here just a little bit so you get within 1. There you go.
Alright, so run it back. It's going to be 16 3s and 3s again with the Glaives.
Nice.
Certainly better there. A big number of 6s. I've got 6 6s. And then 3s to wound with the 6s doing the hits.
Nice.
So we've got a total of 3 mortal wounds, and then 14 at -1.
4 ups. Okay, 4s are rolling because shield wall is excellent. Pull out my good ones.
Just 1 failure, so that's 2 more damage plus the mortal wounds, total 5.
4.
Okay. And then they've got the mounts. 15 attacks there. Also 3s and 3s. Just 2 6s to come back, and then 3s to wound. And unfortunately, these are at no rend and no mortal wounds, so a total of 8 there on 3s and 3s.
Okay. 3s. Good.
They're all good. Okay.
Next
So
up,
that leaves 10 in that unit.
Death Riders.
They cannot pilot, and I left that one outside of an inch.
Alright, Alright, so I got 2 of them. One of them's my unit champion. So this is going to be a whole whopping 7 attacks with the riders. 2s and 4s. 6s explode. 1 6. So that means technically all of them hits. 4s. So that's going to be 3 at rend 1, please.
Okay, Sigvald is finest hour, so these are 4-ups.
Celestia.
Celeste is finest hour, so 4-ups. Made 2 of them.
Okay. 1 damage.
Okay.
And then a total of 4 pony attacks. These are 3s and 3s because of Katakros. They are not Naderite ponies.
You really should research that technology.
2 no minuses, please.
2 3s, made them both.
Okay.
And crucially, had up on the hit there, so Celeste will get +1 to hit and wound. Next up, I'm going to attack with the Contorted Epitome into the Stalkers. Got 9 Ravaging Claws attacks. These are going to be on 3s and 4s.
Okay.
And 6s here explode. And 4s to wound. That is going to be 4 at -1.
Okay, so that brings me back to a 4-up, and I'm rerolling saves because of my stance. Good.
Okay, and then 2 Coiled Tentacles attacks, 3s and 4s. Now we got 1 6 there, so 3 hits out of 2 attacks, 4s to wound. That is going to be just 1 at -2.
Okay, 5 up, rerolling. Damage?
That one is 2.
Okay. 2. Alright, more Tech Guard time. So despite there only being 10 of them, they are going to hit like a freight train. This is 21 attacks because the unit champion. They are now 2s and 3s because the cartouche is now in range. So watch out. 2s and 3s, 6s explode. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Seems good.
That's what I got in my hand. Cool. So 21 hits. There you go. Cartouche paying off. 5, 10, 14 at rend 1, please.
Okay, those are just 6-ups against the slip blades. And I am going to make a solid number of those. Made 5 of those. So we've got a total of 2 dead slick blades and 1 wound on a 3rd.
All right. Good job, guys.
Next up, going to fight with the Keeper of Secrets. He's got 1 attack with the Sinister's Hand. All of his attacks are going to be +1 to hit because of the Feign. So 1 attack with Sinister's Hand on 2s and 3s. Hits. And wounds at -1.
4s are rolling. Damage?
1 damage. It's 5s re-rolling, right? They're base 4?
They're base 4, but I have Katakros.
Oh, right.
Okay, it takes 1.
Okay. The Elegant Great Blade, because it's tabled so hard, is down to just 2 attacks, 2s and 3s. A 6 there to explode. And that's going to be 2 at, but the 6 here to wound is just straight through as 2 mortal wounds.
Okay.
And so 1 at -1.
4s are rolling. Good.
Okay.
And then 2 mortals. Takes 2. Kills a stalker.
And then the Impaling Claws are 2s and 3s. 1 hit. And that is going to be, at current table, just 3 mortal wounds through.
Okay, takes 1 more.
Okay.
Like a normal person. Okay, I'm out of piling, so you have your 10 attacks with Sigvald.
Yeah, Sigvald is going to make all of his attacks into them. Crucially, the Keeper is going to get to heal because it did kill a model with its attacks, and it has the Sinister's Hand.
Yep.
So 10 attacks with Sigvald. These are normally 2s and 3s, but because of the
Bone-Tide Nexus?
No, because of Katakros giving him -1 to hit, these are going to be 3s and 3s.
Oh, that's right, yes. Like it even matters.
But I got a 6 there, so I get that back. 3s to wound. Ooh, not great. That is going to be 5 at -2.
So 5s are rolling. Okay, damage?
D3 each. Just 2 of them went through there. That is going to be 3 damage. Can't be negated. Not Sigvald's best performance, that's for sure. Celeste is then going to make all of his attacks into the Death Riders.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna pile in Celeste now. And with this pile in, going to equalize the number of my mortal units and other demon units wholly within 18 inches here to get reroll hit rolls of 1. So with the Axe of Dominion, these are going to be 3s and 2s, rerolling hits of 1. That is going to be 2 hits and 2 wounds at -2.
So that is going to be 5s. 1
Okay, D3 damage for 2.
for 1.
Okay, and then the Scourging Whip, 8 attacks here. And these are going to be 2s and 3s. Rerolling 1s to hit. 1/6 there. 3s to wound. That is going to be a total of 6 at -1.
Alright, so back to 4s. 3 get through.
1 damage each.
Okay.
And at the end of the combat phase, the Keeper is going to get to heal from the Sinistrous Hand. It's going to get D3 back here for 3. And so into the Battle Shock phase, I've got 1 Battle Shock check that I need to make on my Slick Blades.
You're -1 bravery because you are within 12 inches of a Mortis Praetorian unit.
Sounds good. They are going to be fine with a 3.
Okay.
They lost 2. That gets them to 5, which matches their bravery with -1.
Okay.
So, going to collect several depravity here. 6 depravity, which is going to push me up to a total of 12.
Nice.
But unfortunately, the turn absolutely did not go how I wanted. Didn't even manage to take the Stalkers off. Did not kill any units. 3 tough combat heroes into the Stalkers unit was not enough to get it done. The Slick Blades fell woefully short. Only killed 8 out of that unit, and just 1 Death Rider dead. So overall, really rough turn for me. And I don't hold any objectives right now. So
0 points.
0 points. And we'll go into the bottom of round 2 for Bonereapers.
Yep.
Check if I get a command point.
You don't.
Okay.
Sorry, 6.
So that will leave me at 0.
Okay, I get to see if I get more discipline points. I pick up 1 more.
Sure.
Put me at 9.
That's what I've got yet.
Okay. Got a couple of start of the hero phase things I have to do here. Do some battle tactic selections here. So my battle tactic is going to be to take, against all odds, I'm going to take the Mortec Guard that are here in the middle. You know, they count as a gazillion. You don't have any Galatian veterans, so basically impossible to fail this.
Should be easy, yeah.
For my heroic action, Katakros will take the Ossiarch heroic ability where he can spend 1 Ossiarch point, roll his discipline point without it costing anything. So, you know, pretty cool.
Sure.
Then the Bone Tide Nexus is also at the start of the hero phase. It worked well for me last time, so we're going to stick with it. So we're going to try and keep the -1 to cast, unbind, and dispel on the Epitome. We do.
Got it.
I have to hand out my Scroll Bearers -1 to hit. I'm going to give that to Sigvald again.
Makes sense. Alright, for my heroic action, I'm going to find a sour my Keeper's Secret.
So in the hero phase, I've got a couple of different things to hand out in terms of healing. Katakros can pick up to 3 units wholly within 24 inches to heal up to 3 wounds. We're going to do unit number 1 is the Stalkers.
Sure.
Unit number 2 here is going to be the my Bone Boys, and see if I can cheese my way into getting another heal. There's not a 3rd unit to heal, so then the Bone Shaper is going to pick 1 unit to heal. He's going to pick the unit that I just barely daisy chained into, and we are going to give them 3 more beautiful Mortec Guard. Oh, look at that.
Makes sense.
So great. He's going to spend his free one to keep his bubble going. of +1 to hit and +1 save because Mortis Praetorians are better than everything. That's just a scientific fact. I don't know if you were aware of it.
I've heard that.
Yeah. So then we're going to go over to casting. We will start with the Bone Shaper to empower Nadirite weapons. Get that with a 10.
Okay, I'll attempt to unbind that with the Keeper, and it goes off.
Okay. Alright, so I'm going to give it to the unit that's here in the thick of things. So they are going to have exploding Nadirite weapons on 5s,
Makes
not
sense.
just 6s. So then next up we're going to come over to the Soul Mason. The Soul Mason is going to do his War Scroll spell, Soul Guide. Oh, I get that wrong. Get that on an 11.
Okay, I will throw an unbind at that with Celeste. And fail.
Okay, I'm going to give it to the unit that's right here in the thick of things with the Slickblade Seekers.
Sure.
Blah, blah, blah.
So you get the reroll ones.
Roll 1s to hit. With his second spell, he's got Drain Vitality. Fail that on a 4.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to get to the end of the hero phase here. We're going to see if we can cast more Spirit Guides. We can. One more. Well, I should probably roll the other dice for the casting at 10. On a 12.
Goes up on a 12. I'll let you have that one.
Okay, so we're going to give that to the other Mortek Guard.
Makes sense.
Okay, time to move. Terms of movement, pretty straightforward turn. Bonereapers, right? So we are just moving up. We're gonna try and close this door here, pin everything down. Speaking candidly, I'm gonna try and steal an extra idle point to really try and put the game out of reach here. So the goal here is to pick up 6. Maybe we'll drop 1 for Sigvald, probably killing my stabby boys, but it's what are you gonna do? Okay, uncomplicated. Over to shooting. We are going to shoot with the Harvester at the Keeper. Alright, so 4 attacks, 2s and 3s. Cool. 4 hits. 3 at Rend 1, please.
The Rend 1 is cancelled by the finest hour, so we've got 4 ups. Gonna make 2 of those.
Okay.
Takes 1.
Time for charging. First up, we are going to try and charge with the Stabby Boys, my Mortek Guard. +1, because they have a banner, so that's a 10. Wow. You can go wherever they want. We're going to try and charge with the Harvester. With the 7. Plenty. Yeah, that'll be it. So, end of the charge phase abilities. You have a monster and I have a monster? I have a monster. I'm going to step on your stupid Seeker boys.
Okay, stomp.
Nope.
Okay.
That's what I get.
And I'm going to attempt to roar at those Mortek Guard.
Mm-hmm.
And I do.
Okay. How dare you?
We've got a couple things at the start of the combat phase then.
I sure do. We are going to spend some points here. So they can't take anything. We are going to go +1 attack on the Gothazar Harvester from Katakros. And we are going to shield wall with the Mortek Guard who are in with the Slickblade Seekers.
Sure.
And then we are going to take the stance of do lots of damage to the Necropolis Stalkers.
Makes sense. Alright, I've got a few start of combat things here to do as well. Hopefully get some hot rolls here. The Keeper of Secrets is going to attempt to locus the only thing that's within 1 inch of, which is going to be those Necropolis Stalkers. Gets that with a 4.
Okay.
They can't pile in. The Contorted Epitome is going to attempt to locus the Mortek Guard on a 4. And fails that with a 3. That's big. And then Celeste is going to attempt to locus the Death Riders and gets that with a 6.
Okay.
Also, the Epitome is going to attempt to use its ability to distract the Mortek Guard so that it can't be attacked until it is fought, and gets it on a 4. Also, the Epitome can use that same ability on the Necropolis Stalkers. Succeeds there, and on the Gothazar Harvester. Succeeds there. So until the Epitome has fought, none of them can attack the Epitome.
Cool. All right, so we're gonna go swinging for the fences here. My Necropolis Stalkers are gonna swing at your beautiful, nearly naked boy.
Sure.
And so that's gonna be 10 attacks headed his way. 2s and 3s, because Katakros is awesome. Woof. 4 1s.
You'd love to see it.
So that is going to be 3 at Ren 2, please.
3 at Ren 2. Sigvald has Mystic Shield up, so these are going to be 4s. And gonna make 2 of those.
2 damage.
Alright, he's got his 4-up ward. And gonna fail both of those. He takes 2.
Bummer.
I'm gonna activate with the the Slickblade Seekers then. Pile in with them. And all these attacks are going to go into that unit of Mortek Guard.
Who are going to bounce you off their belly.
Yeah, it's absolutely true. So I'm at 10 attacks here with the Glaives. These are going to be 3s and 3s. Whoa. I got 1 6 there to bring it all back. And then 3s to wound, 6s here do mortals. That is going to be 4 at -1.
4s are rolling. Good.
Okay, and then 9 attacks with the mounts, 3s and 3s as well. 2 6s there. 3s to wound. And that is going to be a total of 7 at no rend.
3s are rolling.
Pretty good.
Good.
They're fine. Your activation, sir.
We are going to activate with the Mortek Guard.
Sure. They cannot attack the Epitome.
6 of them. One of them is the unit champion, so that's going to be 13 attacks. That is going to be 2s and 4s, re-rolling 1s to hit.
Sounds good.
6s explode.
Solid.
That's going to be 9 at Rend 1, please.
Okay, 9 at Rend 1. You have the finest hour going right now, so these are going to be 9 4-ups. Need to make most of these. And I failed to make most of them, so he is dead.
Idle point.
Next activation then is going to be with Celeste. Alright, Celeste is going to do his pile-in, move out around the edge here, and then put all of his attacks into the Death Riders. And by making that move, he's going to get the reroll 1s to hit and start giving that bubble out to everything else as well. Then 4 attacks with the Axe of Dominion. These are going to be on 4s and 3s. 1 hit, but it explodes, and I get to reroll that 1. Still a 1. So that 6 explodes, 3 to wound, 2 at -2.
5s. Damage.
D3 for 3.
3.
Okay. And then the Scourging Whip. 3s and 4s. No 1s there.
Nice.
They all hit and 2 extras. And then 4s to wound. And that is going to be 6 at -1.
4s. That's 1 each.
1 each.
Another pony.
I'll take it.
Okay. We are going to swing with the Gothazar Harvester.
Sure.
He's going to throw all of his attacks at those Seekers. Alright, so he's got +1 attack from a command ability from Katakros. That's going to put him at 7 7 bludgeoners. That's going to put him at 2s and 2s with the cartouche that's just sitting behind that wall there. Pretty good. 6s to hit or just straight up 2 mortal wounds. So that is going to be 2 mortal wounds and 4 hits. So that's going to be 3 at rend, 2 please.
Okay, those are straight through.
So a total of 8 damage
Okay.
from the Harvester.
That is going to leave just 1 alive and wounded.
So one of them that died was within 3 inches, so let's see if I grab a guy. I do.
Okay, bring him back to Mortar.
Boop. Okay, and then he's got 5 hooves and tails because of the command ability. He is going to also be 2s and 1s. These do not have any special 6 triggers. So that is 4 at rend 1, please.
4 at rend 1 are 6s. And gonna make one of those, but
2
that's
each.
Yeah, that's plenty to
Another
kill.
Mortec guard. I do.
Okay. It's looking real rough here for the good guys.
Alright, so all the activations left are you because when I go with them, they can't pile in and I'm out of range of everything. So
Sounds
let's,
good.
Let's have it.
I'll take Sigvald's attacks first here into the Stalkers, and with the Slick Blades dying, I no longer get the reroll ones to hit here. I am -1 to hit, so these are 3s and 3s. That is going to be none. Alright, Sigvald's done. Then I've got the Contorted Epitome, and going to do a little bit of a pile in here. Alright, going to put all these attacks from the Epitome then into the Necropolis Stalkers. Got 2 attacks with Coiled Tentacles. They're 3s and 4s. 2 hits. 1 wound at -2.
So 5s. Damage?
2 damage.
2.
And then the Ravaging Claws, 3s and 4s. Got 2 6s there.
Nice.
4s to wound. That is going to be none.
Well,
But managed to do a damage to them, so I will end up getting a depravity off that. So, yeah, rough one. How'd your turn go for you, Brendan?
so Battle Shock.
I have no relevant battle shock.
Yep, you collect your points. You should pick up 1 from these guys if you didn't.
Yep, got that. So I got a total of 3 depravity there.
Okay. I obviously don't test because I'm Bonereapers, and that would require you to kill something. So I feel pretty good. You're down to a total of 3 models.
Yeah, but they're 3 good ones.
Yeah, I'm missing right now a total of 9 models. Most of which I could get back. So that's good. As far as we go to scoring, I hold 1, I hold 2, I hold more. I killed an idol with an idol, which gives me another 6 points.
Okay. What was your battle tactic there?
Against all odds.
And you managed it. You
Yeah.
still control that one. All right, we've got a priority roll for round 3 then.
Yep, you win ties. 6.
You got the 6 to my 4. I will happily shake your hand there. If I get that 1, I still lose, but I would have gotten to summon on a big block or something, maybe had some play here, and maybe the endless spells kick in. But, I mean, woof. So, brutally rough game for me. I felt like at various points I got the matchups that I wanted. I wanted to have my chariot into your Stalkers, and if I make one of those saves, he's around, he gets to do all his fights. Rough.
Yeah, I don't think you get all of them, but you're gonna get a lot of them.
Right, maybe it chips out enough damage that then on my turn I can sweep them.
Exactly.
I got my Slick Blade Seekers, which is really my Kilius Bounty Hunter unit, into your unit of Mortec Guard, while your unit of Mortec Guard had no buffs on them and was away from the Gothazar Harvester. I got to double fight with that unit. That's really what I want to do in terms of being able to lift that unit. Hard for me to position that much better and still just bounced, right? Which is absolutely what Ossiarch does. Celeste was probably going to win that matchup on the Death Riders eventually. Sigvald,
But that's a trade I'll take.
Yeah, absolutely. And you lifted off the 140 points of archers with them. The archers in this list I really have to use as screens for my combat pieces, but the combat pieces then just could not deliver. Sigvald, the keeper, even though the keeper was tabled, and the epitome, I really felt really good about taking off your stalkers. The fact that Sigvald did
0 hits.
Yes. Well, that was on the second activation. On the first activation with 10 attacks, I think I put 2 damage through with Sigvald.
It wasn't a lot.
No, and I mean that's
how
it goes.
Disaster.
Right, that's how it goes. But definitely put me in a very, very unpleasant situation. I felt like I needed to, I don't want to go into Mortec Guard, right? I don't want to be in that position. But there's no way that I can hold an objective that they're on because they're expert conquerors. So I felt like all I can really do is go into a block of them in a position where I've got bounty hunters, I've got the double damage, they don't have the harvester nearby, they don't have Mystic Shield on them. Like I said, that's what I want. It just didn't get there, right?
Yeah, I got to play the game I wanted to play, and that was kind of it.
Yeah.
It's been months since I put a Bonereapers army on the table. I love Katakros so much. He's my favorite character in all of Warhammer. I think he's the coolest model. I think it's the coolest war scroll. I think he does some of the coolest things that you can ask for in the game.
Sure.
And
he's very similar to my favorite model in Warhammer, which is Glutos. So they're really cousins. Right?
Yeah, we'll have to get a game in with our favorite models at some point, which is basically just a full 8.5 by 11 of rules that has rules for all of the guys that are standing around them.
That one doesn't end well for Glutos, just so we're clear.
Right. It is one of the coolest characters in the game because you're spending 450 points, which is a lot in an army that is already for a death army very elite.
Right.
And what you want to do with that character all game is nothing. Right? It's facetious to say nothing, but he's handing out buffs that are force multipliers. I mean, you see how effective everything is when he's touching what he's supposed to be touching in terms of managing the space on the table. Super tough to kill. Just the whole army. I love this army so much. So it was nice to get it out and have it play in a way that really feels the way that Bonereapers are supposed to.
For sure.
The points drops that we saw across multiple handbooks at this point have been excellent. The Stalkers are in such a beautiful place by being able to be Galatian veterans and be battle line. I know that's rare for folks to say because it makes it prone to being bounty huntered. But the fact that you can take even the 6 of them and fight in 2 ranks with everything at that 6 is such a huge boon that I can't even put words to it.
That was really a limiting factor on them forever, was that base size, the reach. As soon as we saw the new coherency rules, it just made them into a very awkward piece. And so freeing them up to fight in 2 ranks, one of the best changes in this General's Handbook for sure. Love to see them on the table and just killing stuff. And the fact that they're just battle line as well is really consequential for a lot of armies that are in Ossiarch.
For your list building, right?
Yeah.
You don't have to.
So many options.
You don't have to take another 140 points of Mortec Guard,
right? Or 190 points of Death Riders.
Yeah.
And both of those things are things that you want to be bringing, but the flexibility that it opens up to be able to run
the flexibility to say no to
right.
one of them and take them instead, because they do fill a very similar role to what your Death Riders do. They're a little bit slower, but they're quite a margin punchier.
Sure.
For a relatively similar points cost. And as we saw, you can make them just as durable as Mortec Guard in the right situation. Surviving there to not surrender in idle points is huge. In the event that you win the priority into 3, you're still tied up there. There's still a point that you have to go chase. There's really nowhere you can go.
Now, we almost got to see one of my favorite interactions in Slaanesh here. There was a point in your last turn where if I get the can't pile in and can't fight the epitome until it fights, there's a world where that entire block of Mortek Guard spends that combat phase doing nothing, and that's a beautiful world to live in. It didn't quite happen. I needed to hit another 4-up, which is how it goes, but definitely a cool interaction, and one of the reasons that I love the epitome in this army. It slots in so well and can do so many things as a 2-cast wizard.
And one of the other things in this list, the grand strategy where you have to have a Kavalos Death Rider unit or Mortek Guard unit at full health, like...
Yeah, you're going to get there.
It sounds great to me.
You're going to get there, except in the games that you just...
You're going to lose anyways.
Right, yeah.
It's such a... That one is such a cool, faction-specific grand strategy. It's really thematic.
Absolutely.
It encourages you to play exactly the way that I think you should be playing Bonereapers. Like, that's the kind of stuff that I think is really cool when it gets in the White Dwarf, or when you get a battle tome that includes that. So
for sure,
didn't really get to show it off here in terms of it being close at the end there, but I don't see a reason why this unit wouldn't be at full strength. Come the 5th battle round.
Sure. I feel pretty good about this Slaanesh list. Obviously, this is the kind of opposite of the matchup that I want to see. I want to be able to get in and bully some things with my bounty hunters, and then have some really capable elite hunting with Sigvald, with Celeste, and with the Keeper to kind of supplement wherever that needs to be. If nothing dies on the opposing forces, even when I get kind of my green light matchups on a unit by unit basis, it's not going to get there. But I still do feel that there's some potential here with the mixed arms approach. The one thing this list is lacking is more screens, more bodies. The lists that are really being successful right now in Slaanesh are things like the 40, 50, 60 list bar archers to really maximize your depravity, maximize your ranged output, and not be in a position where you need to go in and fight against some combat armies that are ultimately just better at doing combat right now.
Yeah, there's I think the more competitive version of Bonereapers right now includes Arcan, but I just love Katakros so much.
You gotta run the units you love.
Yeah, the army's pretty slow. But in the hands of like a really patient player, I think it's a really rewarding result.
And certainly on a battle plan like this, where you've got objectives that are close to your turf, where you can lean on those expert conquerors and such durable units, you don't feel that slowness as much. You can afford to just castle up and start racking up points.
Yep. And I think in this handbook, most of the missions you feel pretty good about in terms of your ability to get to the win towards the end. If you can... what I call staying on schedule in terms of hitting the objectives when you need to hit them, getting through the things that you get through when you need to get through them, you can find your way across the field in time.
Right. You are going to struggle a little bit with battle tactics in general, but the Kavalos Death Riders really shore that up, both in terms of getting into the opponent's backfield for things like barbs through enemy lines, but also they have a battle tactic just to get into combat, stay in combat through your turn.
And they're 15 wounds. Really, they're super durable.
Yeah, you could throw them into something and
you're a 4-up with +1 to save. When Katakros' ability is up, you've got a 6-up ward save. I mean, that is a durable unit.
Absolutely.
And all you got to do is tag one guy.
Right. Tag one guy, survive for a turn, you get that battle tactic from them. They really shore up what feels like it would otherwise be a weakness of the army.
Mm.
Well, great game, Brendan.
Absolutely.
Always fun having you on the channel. Great to see you finally in your home, in your comfort zone, in death again.
Yeah, I mean, now you can see what I can do with one.
Thanks for everybody who hung out through this one. I didn't give the best fight on the table, but that's how it goes sometimes in Warhammer. Sometimes you have some rough ones. Still a great time. Still had a lot of fun with this one. And I think Slaanesh still has a lot of play. Going to work on refining it. And we've got a couple tournaments coming up. I'm still kind of debating what I'm going to bring to those tournaments. And so there may be there may be some practice games coming up on the channel as I try to vet that out. I watched Justin's recent performance with Khorne on the channel. Khorne is an army that I really love, and I really love the theme of, and it seems like they've got the gas right now to maybe have a puncher's chance as long as they get some good matchups. So I'm considering them, but obviously Night Haunt is always calling to me, always pulling me back. So we'll see what I end up with. But thanks everybody for watching. Thanks for hanging out through this discussion. If you want to contribute to the discussion, leave us a comment below. Let us know how we did, what we could have done differently, especially on my strategy, because it feels like I needed to do some things differently here. So tell me your thoughts on it. And we've always got our Discord linked below as well, and our Patreon. So our Discord, if you want to join our conversation, hop in there. Patreon, if you want to help us continue to grow the channel, continue to grow our capabilities, that's a great way you can show us that you really appreciate what we're doing and what we're about. But the bigger way, and the thing we ask of everybody is, if you like what we're doing, hit that subscribe button. Thanks, everybody.